Hey guys, subscribe for daily content. And if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got another interesting knife review / knife overview to show you guys. This is the new Vosteed Raccoon 2.0. Metal Complex, that looks exactly the same as the original Raccoon, and you would be right, it does look exactly the same, but there's actually a number of differences. Whether or not those differences matter to you will be up to you. If you already own the standard Raccoon, you might find enough here to switch to this one or upgrade to this one, however you define that, or you might not, right? It's really just up to you. What's interesting is that this actually costs slightly less than the original Raccoon, which is, I find, kind of neat. That doesn't surprise me at all, though. I mean, honestly, Vosteed is just a really cool company. They've been winning for a long time now. So I will link this down in the description. It might be there. It might be sold out. It depends on when you're watching this video. But just like I said with the Raccoon and the Porcupine, if it's sold out, it'll come back. And it did. In fact, the standard one is there now. So you can check down there if you want to. It does help my channel when you use those links, but that's entirely up to you. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me, and make sure your notifications are turned on for my channel. The overall length of this Raccoon is 7.5 inches, and I have another, an original Raccoon here. Well, not original, the button-operated top liner lock version, which is the only version that I personally enjoy, and it is also still 7.5 inches. The blade length is actually slightly different, though. The the cutting edge length, 3.25 inches for both knives on blade length, but as far as your cutting edge goes, this one is exactly 3, while the original was slightly less than 3, about 2.85, and I think they've just changed this area a little bit, right? But we'll go back to other differences here in just a moment. Let's go ahead and do some size comparisons. Any custom scales you find in this section can be found down in the description under Original Goat and others. So up against my own Excalibur and the Mini Excalibur, it's smaller than my full-size Excalibur. It is almost exactly the same. I think it actually is exactly the same overall length as my Mini Excalibur. So there you go. Let's put it up against the Benchmade Griptilian, or in this case, the Ritter Hogue, and the Hogue Deca, which is it gone? Where have you gone? Oh, no. No, there he is. He's right in front of my face. All right. And then I didn't do the Spyderco, did I? Spyderco PM2 and the Spyderco Para 3. Okay. How's the action on this guy? Well, it's very good. It's exactly what you'd expect. This is a button-operated top liner lock, and it works perfectly. Not a plunge lock. We have the button connected to an actual top liner lock, meaning it engages behind the lock face on the blade, which is very good, and it keeps your fingers out of the way while you're disengaging it. The action is very snappy, and this brings us to another one of our initial differences here. The position of the thumb stud is slightly different. I don't think the shape and size of the thumb stud is different, but you can see here they have Sean Connery, little bit higher up, right? And they've moved it closer to the frame. And I guess, I don't know, more out of the cutting path, but it does not actually stop on the frame. It looks like it does, but it does not. There you go. You can see the little space there. So the stop pin is right here. And actually, speaking of the stop pin, it is now, I don't know if it's necessarily more robust, but it is in a different location. We have a different stop pin in the closed position location as well. So slightly different thumb stud position. But the action is very good. Whether you like to reverse flick it or you like to thumb flick it, the detent is awesome, and that did not change. Very cool. Carry profile, thickness up against the Spyderco Para 3. It is about the same, and honestly, more useful. Let's put it up against the original. Is it the same? Yes. The chamfering is slightly different, but the actual thickness between the two is identical. It's exactly the same. Let's do blade stock thickness and compare the two. Somebody in the unboxing pointed out, and you guys did find one thing that I did not find, and we're going to talk about it. But blade stock thickness, somebody suggested that the new one looks thicker. God bless you. Stupid thing, won't zero out. Somebody suggested the new one looks like it could be thicker. 118 thousandths. And this one is 116.5. So, if it is, it's very minimal. Maybe I was just squeezing it different. It's trivial. I'm going to say they're the same. Let's go ahead and weigh it, because that's something that is going to be different, and I'll explain why. So materials on this knife here, we have, where does it say? Right there, we still have 14C28N, which is kind of hard to see there. But yeah, so the original Raccoon weighed 3 ounces. The new one weighs 3.7. Why? Because it has full steel liners, not nested steel liners. That might be part of the reason why it costs slightly less. I think nesting liners does add slight cost because you have to like carve out the scales. And since we don't really have to do that, maybe that's why this costs less. How does that affect balance? Well, the balance on this knife is at the top of the primary index finger position right behind the pivot on the new one, and almost exactly the same place on the old one, which is weird. But okay, it doesn't really affect the balance at all. And with this just doesn't have, it's slightly heavier. Trivial to me. Might not be trivial to some other people. Let's go ahead and do a hardware check. I'm going to get out my tools. As per usual, my tools are very inexpensive and very recommendable. You can find them right down in the section of my description that talks about the tools I use on this channel. So, oh, that's a T9. I forgot to put these back in order. I believe this is a T8. Okay. The pivot is a T8. Now these, on the old ones, the body screw, oh, it was a T6. Yeah, all T6 through here. Yeah, I think that is the case. On the new one, they're T8. And they're also not button head screws. They're just flush, which actually looks a lot better. The pocket clip screws are still a T6, which I don't really care about. So there's just one, and that's great. It's still the same. So yeah, it's just the position of the screw is now slightly different, and the screw itself is also slightly different. So there you go. We did the hardware check. We weighed it. We did blade stock thickness. Let's go ahead and talk about the meat and potatoes here. I don't know how many different color setups, color combos they have of the Raccoon 2.0 right now, but this is a very appealing color combination, at least to me. It's a very chocolatey kind of, I don't know if it's a PVD coating, right? But it's very cool looking, especially in combination with this sort of forest green micarta. All of the hardware is matched, and then they did a little bit of accent coloring here with this sort of more rose, not really rose gold, I don't know, coppery, I guess, kind of. It's like a shiny new penny for the thumb studs and the backspacer. It's just a really appealing looking knife. A very easy knife to lose in a forest. But yeah, I do like how this looks, right? I hope that they offer a million different variations like they currently do with the standard version. I love that we kept the texturing or the knurling on the actual button. I think that that's great. Looking at this knife, now you have another pin back here, and that's the stop pin, which is contacting, I think, pretty high up. Yeah, it's actually way back here. So it's really, yeah, it's contacting like in this divot in here. So it's not going to mess with the plunge grind. The new plunge grind is, I think, slightly thicker just because of like the area itself. Sorry, I'm bumping them together there. This has a little bit more room. The new one, not as much. I don't think that's going to really affect anybody too much there. The old one, the stop pin, actually it does have two. So we have two here. It's just that this one, no, this one's up here. This is the deal here. Okay, so it's there and there. So the new stop pin is just positioned slightly lower for the open position, and it absolutely is. Maybe it's just my imagination. It looks more robust, right? Am I crazy? Yeah, it's definitely bigger. I think they're both bigger there, right? This is the one that operates the top liner lock. This is the open position stop pin. This is closed position. So I think it's actually more robust. I think the knife all the way around is more robust. How much that will translate during actual use, I don't know. I don't know that there's going to be an enormous amount of difference. I have used the black one quite a bit. I have carried the brown one a little bit, but not used it very much. Recently have stropped this one. I don't know that there'll be an enormous amount of difference, though maybe it was because I recently stropped it. Nah, it's in my imagination. I was going to say that this one felt slightly thinner behind the edge. Gosh. I think it's my imagination. They feel like they're cutting about the same, right? But if I had to guess, if there was one, if someone said one of them is thinner, I would say the old one maybe feels slightly thinner. It does feel like slicing this, it does feel maybe like it's passing through a little easier, but then again, I did strop this one recently, so that could be it, right? If there is a difference, it is pretty trivial. And honestly, I mean, the knife is so good that, like, it really, to me, it doesn't really matter too much as long as you get the same basic level of utility out of it, right? Good looking blade, super utilitarian, nice choke up spot. We also have 2 different areas of jimping now, which is not the case on this one. I think that's this view is why people thought that the new one was thicker than the old one. I'll also say that the new one has way better jimping. This is okay, kind of slippery. This is very good and also very good up here, right? If you're going to do some draw cuts or whatever, your fingers in a nice position up there, very locked in on the blade. Fit and finish, as per usual, is spectacular. Love the backspacer. Lanyard hole is there, but out of the way. Vosteed has one of the absolute best deep carry pocket clips that has ever been attached to a pocket knife. It is just about perfect, save for being T6 screws instead of T8. And we also have, I know not everybody likes filler tabs, but a pretty good looking filler tab, you know, to kind of match the theme here. So left and right people, you can, left and right-handed people, just left and right people. Left-handed and right-handed people, you can carry this knife. Left-handed people, you do need to watch out when you're squeezing because you can squeeze the button enough to disengage it, but as long as you're cognizant, you should be okay. Right-handed people, hammer grip, standard grip, and choked up grip, you are not naturally on that button, so you should be okay. No blade play, up, down, left, or right. No lock stick, no pivot lash. Very smooth and consistent in here. Wonderful detent, and we are perfectly centered. This knife comes in at $65 and is a flat-out, no-brainer, absolutely wonderful knife, extremely recommendable. The Vosteed Raccoon, the standard version and this version, specifically the button-operated top liner lock versions, are amongst the very best budget folding knives to ever exist, right? When we're talking about knives that cost less than $75, this new version has a lot of changes that are incredibly subtle. Not necessarily a huge difference between the last one. If the things that I pointed out are that matter to you, you know, enough to buy it and change from your Gen 1, then go ahead, because it's a great knife. If you've never purchased either of them, I would say if you get an opportunity, go ahead and get the version 2. It's not necessarily like really crazy better, but it does have some interesting changes, I guess. So it really doesn't matter either way, you know, pick them both up. What I want to see is I want to see them make a larger version of this. I want to see them make like an 8.5-inch version of this for sure. But this version is very, very good. I don't know what their motivation was for changing, like, for example, the liners or the thumb stud position. Like, I thought that the standard Raccoon was really, really good. I do like that they upgraded to you know, the T8 screw there on the body, and I love the new color setup. I think maybe overall they just like made this less costly to manufacture, and then some of that translated into the final price tag, and they made it a little bit more robust and beefy where they could, and added some jimping. I mean, there are definitely some big positives here. I don't think I missed anything, but if I did, people in the comments will definitely point it out, so I welcome you to go down there and check it out. Links in the description for all the different versions of this knife that are available. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe, because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.